Hello there, Carlos. Good morning to you. Good morning to you. My dick is on fire 'cause I f***ed that old shrew. I think one of the most infuriating things about discussing perks that are considered unhealthy or unfair in Dead by Daylight, at least the most infuriating thing to me, is the way people want to almost restrict a lot of creativity that is being brought into this game simply because there are some perks with effects that really only need number tweaks or maybe another qualifier before they can get used, but people want to completely gut their effect and take it out of the game entirely. For example, if we were to take a perk like Shoulder the Burden, as annoying as Shoulder the Burden is for a lot of killer players, myself included, I do think that the ability to steal a hook state from your teammate and keep them in the game longer is an interesting, unique effect that does belong in the game. However, Shoulder the Burden's problem isn't necessarily that removal of pressure of being able to kill someone faster. Shoulder the Burden's problem is that there's not enough of a downside for taking that hook state upon yourself. Personally, I really detest the fact that the expose does not last that long, and even though they are exposed, there's nothing to show for it. I would love if Shoulder the Burden caused a make your choice-esque effect, but gave something bonus, right? So right now, Shoulder the Burden exposes you for 40 seconds. I think that is far too short of a timer, and I think it should be increased to 45 or even 50 seconds. But also, I think it should give some sort of either killer instinct or an aura reading effect on you or something like that that lasts not the entire 45 seconds, that would be absurd, but maybe something to show the direction you go in. And then there would be actually a lot of strategy to using Shoulder the Burden, right? So you would have to shoulder the burden and then you would have to maybe fake the killer out. So they see your aura going left and you have to keep in your head the timer of, I don't know, let's say 8 seconds or something, and then you would have to bank right after 8 seconds to try to fool the killer from what's going on. There's just not enough of a downside. But we're not talking about Shoulder the Burden today. We're talking about one of the most infuriating perk combos that has gone untouched for literal years, and that is Hyperfocus-Stake Out. Now, the reason I brought up this whole discussion around unique perk effects and ideas that I think are good but need a little bit of work is because I think both of these perks on their own do serve for interesting effects that belong in Dead by Daylight. If you're not aware, Stakeout is a perk from Detective Tapp during the Saw chapter. Whenever you are in the killer's terror radius without being chased, down, hooked, etc., for a certain amount of time, you build up stacks up to an amount of 4 stacks. Whenever you're doing a generator or healing another survivor, hitting a good skill check will consume a stack and turn it into a great skill check. Hyperfocus is a perk from Rebecca Chambers in the Resident Evil chapter, and this says that every time you hit a great skill check, your skill checks happen more often, they happen faster, and each skill check you hit becomes better in a stacking effect up to 8 stacks. And if you miss any great skill checks, then your stacks reset. I think this is a really cool skill-intensive perk, and I like the idea that there is a perk that rewards you paying attention to the game and rewards you hitting great skill checks. Unfortunately, these two effects existing in the game at the same time has led to problems. I don't have the footage anymore because I deleted it, but while I was trying to do my trapper streak a little while back, I came across this game on Dead Dog, and I found a survivor, chased them in the first few seconds, and downed them, not instantly, but after about 30-35 seconds or so. And upon me hooking them, all of a sudden, 3 generators popped back to back to back. We had only been in the game for roughly 50 total seconds. It did not take long for me to find the survivor and down them and put them on a hook. 3 generators popping in the first 55 seconds, you can probably guess where this is going. At the end screen, and I looked at the results, there were 3, count them 3, Hyperfocus-Stake Out combos with Commodious toolboxes and wire spool socket to allow dumping the charges extremely fast, and therefore these 3 generators got complete back to back to back, not because of any, like, too long chases or because I made any mistakes, but because this just so happened to exist within the game. So as I was talking with my chat about it that day, a lot of people were calling for Hyperfocus-Stake Out to be nerfed in the ground. They wanted to remove all of these different things. They wanted to add all these different qualifiers and stuff. And I just don't like that idea. I don't like the idea of completely getting rid of both of the effects in all, but something has to be done, right? And the whole reason that I say things like I don't want to get rid of both of the effects in total is because of the fact that I don't want people to say, oh, well, you're just trying to break synergies, you're just trying to get rid of it. But I don't want either of these perks gutted into uselessness. I don't want either of these perks to enter a realm where all of a sudden they're just dead on arrival, especially because they're both licensed perks. But I don't want any perk to ever feel like it is completely useless. And so gutting these two perks isn't an option. So what is the solution? Me personally, my solution, my personal, how I would handle this is leave Hyperfocus as it is. I think that a perk that rewards paying attention and being skillful and hitting skill checks on time is wonderful and definitely needs to stay in the game. And yes, it's harder to use without Stakeout, but you're just gonna have to fucking bite the bullet. If you want to use a cool perk like Hyperfocus, one that rewards skill, you have to get better at the game. I'm sorry that that hurts your feelings. So what do we do about Stakeout? Well, I don't want to gut it like some people have said. Some people have said that you should like double the amount of time you have to sit in the killer's terror radius to get a stack, or that the stacks should count as like special skill checks, right? Like whenever you hit a good skill check, it turns into a special great, and then therefore it doesn't count toward Hyperfocus. And I don't like that idea either. I hate the concept that they brought in while I was gone of special and basic breaks and vaults and skill checks. That shit is stupid. I'll do another video on that another day. But for right now, what I'd like to do is give Stakeout a much more thematic, yet equally interesting effect to what it has. A stakeout in terms of the real world is a police officer or law enforcement, or I don't know, private investigator, or I don't know, your grandma trying to catch your grandpa cheating on that 20-year-old cheerleader he's been hanging out with that's also your high school best friend, sitting in one spot and watching for a long time. So I'd like to keep the ability of sitting in the killer's terror radius charges the perk. And I would also like to keep the stacks. We could do 4 or we could put them up to 5. It doesn't really matter. But change it to where whenever you hit a skill check in general, it shows you the auras of every survivor on the map and the killer for like 5 to 6 seconds. I think this would be a really cool implementation of the perk, because when you stake out something, you're staking out to catch someone in the act. You're staking out to get information. And so staying in the killer's terror radius, building up these charges, and then hitting a great skill check or hitting a good skill check, whatever the case may be, while on a generator or even while healing. I think any skill check, if you hit a skill check on a pig box, I think that would be cool, right? Like anything that requires you to hit a skill check, if you hit a skill check, then you get that aura reading. Of course, don't give it to like wiggle hook skill checks. That would be stupid. Or wiggle skill checks themselves, right? But I'm talking about like skill checks for pig boxes, autodidact, healing, generator speed, stuff like that. As long as you hit a skill check, you get that information for a few seconds. And I think that would be a much better effect, and it would stop the perk from being like overtuned with another, but it would also leave Hyperfocus to exist as this really skill intensive gen rushing perk. And we'd also probably get a little bit more variety in the quote unquote gen rushing builds that is desperately needed within the game. I think another big problem is that it's just fatigue. Like, yeah, of course you got Hyperfocus-Stake Out, brand new part, bro. Like right? So yeah, I think that would be a really cool change to make that would kind of rein this perk combo in a little bit. It would keep Stakeout very interesting, but it would turn it into an info perk, which is really cool. And it would still be a little bit, it would be much more thematic than it is now. I have no idea why staking someone out would allow you to be more skillful at repairing a generator, but that's all I have for today. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope I didn't ramble too much. And as always, a great big special thank you to my channel members listed on screen now. If you want to find out how to become a channel member today, get awesome perks like seeing videos early, merch discount codes, and more, then please click that join button down below. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next one.